Snails, members of the class Gastropoda, are a diverse and intriguing group of mollusks found in a wide variety of environments, from the ocean depths to freshwater habitats and even in terrestrial ecosystems. Their shells, often spiraled and glossy, are one of the most recognizable features of snails, and they have evolved a range of adaptations that help them survive in different conditions. Snails are highly adapted to their environments, using a combination of mucus secretion, unique feeding structures, and reproductive strategies to thrive in various niches across the globe. Despite their slow movements, snails play significant roles in their ecosystems, influencing plant growth, soil composition, and nutrient cycling. The evolutionary history of snails is long and complex, dating back to more than 500 million years ago, during the Cambrian period. Over this vast expanse of time, snails have diversified into over 60,000 species, making them one of the largest groups of mollusks. This diversity is reflected in the vast range of habitats they occupy, from marine environments to freshwater systems and terrestrial landscapes. Some snails are freshwater species that live in ponds, rivers, and lakes, while others are marine creatures, living in oceans, estuaries, and tidal pools. A large number of species are terrestrial, inhabiting forests, gardens, deserts, and even urban areas. One of the most iconic features of snails is their coiled, spiraled shells, which they carry on their backs for protection. These shells are made of calcium carbonate, a substance that is secreted by the snail's mantle. The shape of the shell varies widely among species, with some having tightly coiled shells, while others possess shells that are more elongated or even flattened. The shells of snails serve as vital protective structures that help safeguard them from predators, extreme weather conditions, and desiccation. When threatened or disturbed, most snails will retract into their shells for safety, retreating into the protective cavity formed by their coiled structure. The process by which snails grow their shells is fascinating. As snails age, they continuously secrete additional layers of calcium carbonate, which causes their shells to expand. This growth process is influenced by environmental factors, such as the availability of calcium in their surroundings, as well as the snail's diet. Snails that live in nutrient-rich environments often produce larger, stronger shells, while those in nutrient-poor areas may develop smaller or thinner shells. The shape and size of a snail's shell can also be influenced by genetic factors, leading to a wide variety of forms across different species. While their shells provide protection, snails also have a unique way of moving that allows them to navigate a variety of surfaces. Snails move by secreting a layer of mucus that coats their bodies, which serves both as a lubricant and as a way to reduce friction. This mucus allows snails to glide across surfaces, including rough or uneven terrain, with surprising ease. This mechanism is particularly important for terrestrial snails, as it helps them move across dry surfaces without the risk of desiccation. The mucus they produce also serves another vital function. It helps protect snails from harmful chemicals or toxins in their environment, and it can even act as a deterrent to predators. The structure of a snail's body is highly specialized for its mode of life. The body of a snail is divided into distinct regions, with the head, foot, and visceral mass being the main components. The head houses sensory organs, such as tentacles, eyes, and a pair of sensory lobes that help the snail navigate its environment. The tentacles, which are located on the head, are equipped with specialized sensory cells that help the snail detect chemicals, vibrations, and light levels, allowing it to sense potential food sources and threats. In many species, the tentacles are retractable, and they can be used to explore the surroundings in search of food, mates, or suitable places to hide. Snails are herbivores, carnivores, or detritivores, depending on the species. Herbivorous snails feed on plants, algae, and other vegetation, while carnivorous snails may prey on smaller invertebrates, including other snails. Some species, like the well-known apple snails, can even consume dead animal matter. Many snails use a specialized feeding organ called a radula, which is a toothed, tongue-like structure that helps them scrape food particles off surfaces. The radula is a unique adaptation that allows snails to feed on a wide variety of materials, from soft algae to tougher plant matter. The radula functions by moving back and forth, scraping the food into the snail's mouth. Some species of snails are also capable of filter feeding, using specialized structures to capture particles suspended in water. One of the most intriguing aspects of snails is their reproductive behavior. Snails are generally dioecious, meaning they have separate sexes, although there are some species that are hermaphroditic, possessing both male and female reproductive organs. In hermaphroditic species, individuals can function as both males and females, though many still require a mate for reproduction. Mating rituals can be complex, and in some species, individuals engage in elaborate courtship behaviors. For example, in certain land snails, individuals will engage in a behavior known as love darting, where they shoot calcareous darts into their partner to increase the chances of successful fertilization. This behavior is still not entirely understood, but it is thought to be related to sperm competition and enhancing reproductive success. After mating, snails lay eggs, which are usually deposited in damp or moist environments. These eggs hatch into juvenile snails, which are small and soft, lacking the hard shells of adults. As the juvenile snails grow, they gradually develop their shells and gain the characteristic features of adult snails. The length of time between egg laying and hatching varies depending on the species and environmental conditions, but in many cases, the process takes only a few weeks. In some species, snails undergo a series of developmental stages before reaching maturity, while in others, they develop relatively quickly. Snails play an essential role in ecosystems by contributing to nutrient cycling, soil aeration, and plant growth. As herbivores, they consume large amounts of plant material, which helps control vegetation growth and maintain the balance of plant populations. By feeding on dead plant matter, snails also help break down organic material, returning valuable nutrients to the soil. This process of decomposition is vital for the health of ecosystems, as it helps maintain soil fertility and promotes the growth of new plants. Furthermore, snails are a significant food source for many animals, including birds, mammals, amphibians, and reptiles. In some ecosystems, snails are a primary component of the diet for predators, playing an important role in food webs. In addition to their ecological roles, snails have cultural significance in various societies. In some parts of the world, snails are considered a delicacy, with species such as escargot being a popular dish in French cuisine. The practice of eating snails dates back to ancient civilizations, where they were enjoyed by the Greeks and Romans, among others. Snails are also featured in folklore and mythology, where they are often associated with traits like patience, persistence, and transformation. In some cultures, snails are used in traditional medicine, with various parts of the snail being believed to have therapeutic properties. Snail mucin, for example, has gained popularity in the cosmetic industry for its purported skin benefits, including moisturizing and anti-aging effects. While snails have many beneficial aspects, they can also pose challenges, particularly in agricultural settings. Certain species of snails, such as the invasive giant African land snail, are known to cause significant damage to crops by feeding on vegetation and spreading diseases. In such cases, snails are considered pests and efforts are made to control their populations. This can involve a range of methods, including the use of chemical pesticides, manual removal, or the introduction of natural predators. Invasive snail species are a particular concern because they can outcompete native species, disrupt local ecosystems, and spread pathogens that affect both plants and animals. Despite the challenges they sometimes pose, snails are among the most fascinating creatures in the animal kingdom. Their slow but purposeful movements, unique shells, and complex behaviors make them a subject of study and admiration. The adaptability of snails, combined with their ecological roles and contributions to nutrient cycling, underscores their importance in maintaining healthy ecosystems. Whether as food sources, garden helpers, or subjects of scientific inquiry, snails continue to captivate the imagination of people around the world. As we continue to learn more about these incredible creatures, it becomes increasingly clear that snails, with their ancient lineage and diverse adaptations, are much more than just slow-moving animals. They are vital contributors to the web of life on Earth.